So we just got here to Ibiza and checked into our hotel, which is the Hotel Ibiza Playa. And if you're looking for a beachfront hotel to stay at while on the island that isn't gonna break the bank, then this is it. It's not the most grand of places, but it's gonna tick the mark for meeting budget-friendly travel, and the beach you can't beat. It's right there. There's a ton of stuff to do here. We're in an area called Figueras, and it looks like it's really cool. We're gonna go check this place out, and we're gonna make our way to Ibiza town. All right, so if you're looking to get into Ibiza town, the old town, which is called Dalt Villa, then you need to actually go through these. These are ramparts. These are 25-meter high walls that were used in the old days to fortify and protect the city. And inside is the Ibiza Castle, which is one of the highest points here in Old Town. We're gonna check out what Old Town has to offer. Let's go inside the city walls. When you look behind me, you can see how high they are. This is definitely medieval. It's castle fortification. Really, really cool. Literally walking through the walls into the old town. And Daniel doubted my direction abilities. I don't know about you, but this feels very Count of Monte Cristo. And I don't think being trapped on Ibiza would be that bad of a thing. And this is pretty cool. When you actually come through the main entrance of the walled city, you will see several cafes behind me here that look really chic, and they literally sit on the edge of the wall, which is right behind me here, overlooking the bay and the entire city. Really, really cool. And the cafe is called Plaza del Sol. Well, and I thought the Acropolis was bad. Holy mackerel. Oh. Wow. So that stands between me and the castle. That's crazy. Well, the steps and the climb up to the top to see the castle, well, it's real. It's a hike, and it's best to do first thing in the morning, just like going to see the Acropolis and the Parthenon. Go first thing in the morning when it's not loaded with tourists, and when the sun is a little bit more forgiving. Whew. I mean, wouldn't the people that are in the castle have an advantage over the attackers? I mean, when the people came storming the castle, I think I'd just set my shit down and give up. Oh my God. Whew. The view here is spectacular. Off to my left, you'll see Figueras, which is where we're staying. It's one of the closest beach towns to Old Town Ibiza. Really was only about a 10-minute walk to get here, to inside the castle, inside the Old Town walls. And then further up this way towards my right is the actual castle. The climb is a serious one, but it's worth it. It's beautiful. It reminds me of Corfu a lot, where they have the fortress right there on the water. It's beautiful. Take your time walking around. The views are spectacular on every side. And then once you go around the backside of the walls and the castle, you'll actually see a beautiful cathedral. Santa Maria Cathedral, I believe, and gorgeous. And then as you make your way down the hill, as we are, you'll see all kinds of what looks like shops, specialty goods, and hopefully an Aperol Spritz. Very pretty. This absolutely reminds me of the Plaka in Athens, where you have the tables cascading up an alleyway. Bebidas frios. No, es cerrado. No. Whenever you quench that ice cold drink, it's like a mirage in the desert. All right, this looks like a cute little place. A Forn. So I think we'll stop here for a drink, check this place out, quench the thirst. Really great little cafe on the street, on cobblestones, super charming. Shops are all around. Everyone's sitting here, so you know it's always a good sign. And we ordered a bunch of things that A, I barely can pronounce, and B, I don't know exactly what they are, except the jamón ibérico. I do know what that is, so we got some of that. Oh, yum. This is probably one of my most favorite things to do, which is to actually sit down at a cafe while I'm exploring, taking a break, having an Aperol Spritz, because today is a super hot, sweaty day. And we just hoofed it all the way up to the castle. We're downhill now in Old Town. And Ibiza is quite charming. It's beautiful homes, buildings that are a multitude of colors, white, tans, pinks, reds. It's gorgeous. All right, well, I ordered a bunch of things for lunch, and the first arrived is the, I believe, the bocadillo, which is a sandwich with the ham. So the bread looks out of control good. Listen to that. Super crispy, crunchy, hot, and look at that beautiful ham on the inside. Out of this world good. And I'm going for my favorite part, which is the heel and the fat right there. The bread is not just warm, the ham is warm. And guess what? There's more. Tomato. It's that tomato schmear bread with the wonderfully warm ham, the Iberico ham, and it is fabulous. Wow. All right, so the feast continues here at Forno with these beautiful fish, which are the bocaneres, with the olives and the chips, and then, you know, this has my name all over it, a meat platter. Look at this beautiful meat platter with chorizo and salami, what looks like a capicola in Italian, and ham. Absolutely stunning. And then bread with the tomato that you smear on top. And this is a really watery tomato. This is not some big fancy thing. It's literally just the pureed crushed tomatoes. Simple, that's it. Probably not even salt or sugar in it, just a natural tomato. Very sweet, very watery, very fresh. And then, as I was saying, the boquerones, which are the olives, a little bit of giardiniera, so pickled carrots, pickled peppers, the actual, what looks like the white anchovy, and then the potato chips, which you know I'm a sucker for. Now, my guess is that you take your chip, you take this little fish, look at that, throw it on here with maybe a little of the giardiniera. Look at this. So one of the things I definitely want to taste is the chorizo, because I mean, we're in Spain and it's gorgeous, and you can tell it's spicy. Look at all that red. That's heat, that's deliciousness, that's fat, that's flavor. And smoky. If you're looking for a really authentic, very peaceful afternoon with great food and drinks, then stop by Forno here in Ibiza town. You're not going to regret it. All right, we have hit gold here at Playa Cala Vadella, which is a beautiful cove, literally in the middle of what feels like nowhere. I'd say it was probably about a half-hour drive outside of Ibiza town, but totally worth it. We're gonna check this place out for the day. We're gonna swim, we're gonna lay out, we're gonna have some drinks and have some lunch. This feels very local, it feels very tranquil, and this feels like the perfect place to spend the day outside of Ibiza town. I am at Can Juan, and it is so charming. I have this big round beach bed. One of the things I decided to order and finally taste, because I've seen it on several menus here in Spain, particularly Ibiza, is the pan or bread and aioli. And the aioli here is basically, if you will, like a mayonnaise, but with garlic and oil and herbs. And the one that I see in here is chive. So it looks really, really good. I'm gonna try it on the basic white bread, which is super fluffy. Look at that, it almost looks like more of a, like a sour cream consistency than necessarily an aioli that I would be familiar with. Look at that. It looks pretty darn good. I have learned the correct pronunciation of where I am at here in Vadella, and it is Can Jaume. So Can Jaume is where you want to go when you come to the beach here in Vadella. It is, feels private, it's again tranquil, and it's perfect in this little love seat sunbed that I have with my Aperol Spritz. Delicious way to start the day, waiting for the sun to pop out. We're gonna hike around here, check this place out, take a little dip, but for now, I'm gonna have a little sip. Feels great. All right, so we found a cool place for lunch. It's called Maya. It's also a resort for beach beds, so you can go ahead and rent some sunbeds and stop in for lunch. We're gonna do that right now. If you're looking for one of the best places to eat at Playa Vadella, then Maya Beach Club is gonna tick that mark, because you're literally sitting in a very chic restaurant on the edge of the beach overlooking the entire cove. It's gorgeous, and guess what? So is the food. I have the most beautiful fresh fish today for lunch. The first is a gorgeous ceviche that looks exquisite. The second is a salmon tardito with beautiful mango and chorizo, fresh fruit, and then the salmon and avocado in what looks like some sort of a cream sauce or milk sauce. Gorgeous. And you know me, I'm gonna jump right in. I'm gonna use a spoon for this ceviche because it's loaded with the great juices, and I wanna make sure you get all of that. So I'm gonna taste, I'm sure, lime and sweet, and what looks like even, I'm not sure, maybe like baby corn. It's beautiful, but it's a white fish ceviche. It's excellent. It is heat, it is sweet, the white fish is perfectly tender and juicy. Really, really good start to the meal. Now the next dish, I definitely need a spoon because of all the beautiful milk sauce in here. But this is the salmon tardito, and you have the mango and the avocado, and look at this. It feels weird eating this with a spoon, but I want to get all the good juices in there. Look at that. The salmon melts in your mouth, it's that good. The mango is sweet, the avocado is creamy. The milk gives it just the perfect touch of roundness. And then the chorizo gives it a little bit of that punch, sweet, salty. Really, really good. And we saved the best for last because now we have the cazón frito. What is it? Well, it's deliciousness on a plate. It is fried seafood mix, gorgeous, with a spicy aioli, red onions, tomatoes, mashed olives like a tepanon, and we have calamari, my favorite. We have camarones, the shrimp. We have soft-shell crab, and maybe a few other bivalves in there. We shall see. Anyway, let's jump right into this dish. Because I'm a calamari sucker. And cilantro, which you know I love. It's fabulous. Tender, sweet, and the breading is light, which I think is important for a frito. You don't want to have something so heavy and fried and bready that you can't really taste the seafood. This is done really, really well. There is one thing that I would add though when you come here, and that's a nice pop of fresh lime juice, so I'm going to ask for it. No. One of the reasons why I like fresh lemon or lime on seafood, especially mixed like this, is because you got the creaminess of the aioli, you have the sweetness of the seafood, you have the crunch of the breading, you need the acidity, you need that pop of fresh brightness to just pull this dish together, and that is what the lemon or lime is going to bring. Gracias. All right. Oh wow! Oh, this is not a camarones. This is sea bream. Look at that, and look at that breading on that. That looks awesome. Beautiful sea bream. It's freaking good. But guess what's coming? The crown jewel of this platter. Sebastian, also known as the soft-shell crab. Ariel! Gorgeous. Look at this thing. This is what you want to see when you eat frito misto, or in this case, cazón frito. Gorgeous. Claw's my favorite part. So incredibly flavorful. You can taste the sea. It's awesome. This is a dish not to miss. When you come here to Vadella, to the beach, make sure you visit Maya Beach Club. Great food, great ambience, perfect cove, not crowded. This is the best part of Ibiza. Escape the crowds, come here for the tranquility, and some really good seafood. Tonight I'm dining outside the fortress walls of Old Town here in Ibiza at a landmark restaurant. And if you eat at only one place in Ibiza town, this is it. Tonight I'm dining at La Brasa and I'm going for paella. Aioli. which is, as I've mentioned before, not something typical that you may come across in the States or elsewhere, because this very much looks like just a plain old mayonnaise, which actually aioli kind of is, except it'll be more than likely flavored with garlic and some olive oil. It looks fabulous. And then the olives look so good as well. We're gonna go ahead and dip right in. All you do is, instead of bread and butter like we're familiar with, is bread and aioli. You smear it on and you go to town. Loaded, and I mean loaded, with garlic. It's so awesome. You just get hit immediately in the mouth with that garlic. It's terrific. And what better to do than to wash it down with a little cerveza. Outstanding. So the next course has arrived, and let me tell you, it's no stranger to me. The Iberico ham, which looks so delicious. Glistening, fat, beautiful slices of ham. You know it's gonna be good. It's salty, it's sweet, it's succulent, and as always, fat equals flavor, and that's what I'm going for. When you are in Spain, and not just Ibiza, but when you are in Spain, Iberico ham is something you have to do. Whether you're a meat eater or not, you have to make an exception, because there really is nothing like this. And here at La Brasa, they serve up one hell of a good Iberico ham. It's beautiful. They slice it right in front of you in the garden restaurant area that we're sitting in. It's delicious. And it wouldn't be Spain if we didn't have, of course, you guessed it, tomato bread. This is a staple at every dinner, and it never gets old, just like the Iberico ham. It is on beautifully crunchy bread, smear of the sweet fresh tomato. It's heaven on a slice of bread. For my next starter, I decided to get something very special, the gratin. And this is not any gratin. This is mushroom gratin, and it looks bubbly, cheesy goodness with mushrooms and caramelized cheese on top. This is gonna go down really well, but it's big enough to share, so make sure you share, especially with your cameraman. Look at this. It's creamy on the inside, it's crusty on the top, and the mushrooms look so delicate and just juicy. Beautiful oyster mushrooms, look at that, in a creamy, creamy sauce. Come to Papa. Wow. Picture it. Who doesn't want to eat onion soup without the onion soup part? We know we all love that cheesy, good gratin top, right? That's what this is, except there are mushrooms underneath, not bread. It's out of control good. The cheese has got a punch. It's creamy, almost as if there's like a mustard cream sauce to it, or if you will, a white wine. It's really delicious, super creamy, super smooth. Probably one of the best appetizers I've had on the trip so far. I highly recommend it. The number one reason you come here is for the paella. This takes the cake, and La Brasa is the restaurant to come for the best paella in Ibiza town and on the island of Ibiza. This is glorious. This is the lobster paella. They have several different paellas to choose from. The lobster, why not? It's got all of the good shellfish in there, the crayfish, shrimp, the mussels, regular shrimp, the, of course, crown and glory lobster, and then I'm guessing there are probably going to be some scallops and other things in here with this beautiful saffron-infused rice, cooked in all of the juices from the seafood and the stock. This is literally Spanish heaven on a plate. However, there are some rules I will give you on how to actually eat paella, especially when you're in Spain. And the first one is grab your cerveza, because this is going to round all the edges on the dish. It's going to go perfectly with the paella. The second is make sure you have the right utensils. And no, I'm not in the OR. I'm at La Brasa, and you're going to need these to get all of that goodness out of the shells. Trust me. And finally, when you're done, if you aren't wearing the paella, you'll at least have a little mopine to wipe your hands and your lips, because I'm going to tell you, I'm going to need it, and so will you. If you want to taste the sea, well, then this is the way to do it, because that mussel is screaming Mediterranean, and it is phenomenal. So sweet and tender, and you get that punchy, salty sea in it. It is really, really good. And I wanted to taste that before throwing it in all the rice, because I wanted to do it. I wanted to taste the seafood. But traditionally what you would do is take all of your shellfish out and get it into the rice so you could enjoy it that way. Now I'm using my fingers because this is the cook's best friend, and it's one of the best ways to get all the meat out is to really feel it. So, especially when you're eating lobster, I go all in. And you want to make sure that you get it all out, because there is so much that's actually in the tail end. So you want to be very careful bringing that out. Let's dig into this paella. Literally. The lobster is succulent and so juicy. The rice is so earthy. It is delicious with, you could taste that saffron. You could taste almost a little bit of, I would imagine, some white wine in here. Pepper, cayenne, outstanding. And it complements the seafood so well. If you're familiar with gumbo, it's kind of got that Creole edge to it, if you will, with all these spices mixed in, and then the seafood. It's really, really outstanding. And last but not least, postres, the dessert. And this is a dessert typical of Ibiza, and that is grey chanera. And the grey chanera is basically a typical Ibiza pudding. What looks like a vanilla pudding or caramel pudding with a caramel sauce, ice cream, blackberry coulis, and fresh berries. It looks so sweet and beautiful, and we're jumping right in. Really good and very surprising. So first thing you get is the pop of the citrus. So there's orange in there, orange peel. It's fabulous. The consistency is going to fool you in being somewhere between a flan and a cheesecake. Not necessarily a pudding. It's called a pudding, but it's going to be thicker like a bread pudding. But again, from a consistency perspective, flan, cheesecake, somewhere in the middle, really, really good, with a caramel sauce on top and this beautiful melted, almost creme anglaise ice cream. It's really delicious. Really a sweet finish to a perfect dinner at La Brasa. Coming to Ibiza will surprise you as much, I think, as it surprised me. The party island is actually more island than it is party. And for me, this has been an incredible experience in Spanish cuisine, culture, and landscape. From paella to climbing the castle walls, this has been a truly memorable visit to Ibiza, Spain.